San Diegans desperate for a vaccine getting new hope with Johnson & Johnson in the mix. The people who lined up today, even though they didn't have an appointment. The vaccine Superstation in Del Mar closing again, the two problems forcing thousands of people to reschedule. And a local astronaut who already made history may do it again on the moon.
ABC 10 News at 4 starts now.
San Diego County will remain in the purple tier for now. Good afternoon. I'm Kimberly Hunt. And today, the state announced 9 California counties are moving into the less restrictive red tier, but we are not among them. A county must have no more than 7 new COVID cases per 100,000 residents to qualify. San Diego is currently at just under 9. Once we do meet the red tier criteria, we'll have to stay in it for 2 consecutive weeks before moving up. Dozens of people lined up today at Balboa Park for vaccines, even though they didn't have an appointment. ABC 10 News reporter Rachel Bianco explains why they're especially eager to get the first batch of Johnson & Johnson's vaccine.
Dozens of people camped out with umbrellas, books. This woman brought her paint, all hoping for a shot at becoming one of the first in San Diego to get the single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine. Addie Burnett has been sitting here since 7:30 Tuesday morning.
I get in my car and I come down, and I've done this all over the city trying to get my shots. I go to different locations and I wait and I wait and I wait.
Even though she's eligible, Burnett says she doesn't have a computer and she's been unable to get an appointment over the phone.
And it's one shot only. Why would you want to go in for 2 when you can get 1?
The J&J vaccine was 72% effective in research trials compared to Moderna 94% and 95% for Pfizer. Health officials say all 3 were 100% effective at preventing hospitalizations and deaths. It's not a concern to Burnett.
I'm ready to drop my jacket and just throw out whatever I got to throw out and hit it.
The appointments here at the Balboa Park Municipal Gym are for second-dose Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson. Downtown, 1,000 of the J&J vaccines are set aside for the people who have been living at the convention center.
We will make sure that as many people as possible get vaccinated, and that starts with some of the most vulnerable San Diegans, which by definition live here.
The goal is to vaccinate as many people as possible before they're transferred to other shelters at the end of the month. Back at Balboa Park, Burnett says if she doesn't get a shot today, she'll be back.
I hope it's pouring down rain and nobody else comes and maybe they'll zippity-doo-dah me in.
Tuesday afternoon, all appointments were booked, but people are encouraged to keep checking. Rachel Bianco, ABC 10 News.
The county expects to get 14,000 Johnson & Johnson vaccines by the end of today. And the vaccine Superstation at the Del Mar Fairgrounds is closing again. The site will close from Friday to Sunday because of a shortfall in vaccine deliveries. People with appointments on one of those days will be rescheduled for either Thursday or early next week through the My Turn online system. Also, an unrelated technical error caused 1,800 more appointments than available to be scheduled for tomorrow. Some will be rescheduled for Thursday. Looks like it will be another day before the House votes on the revised COVID relief bill. House leaders said today that they are still reviewing the revisions. The House already passed its own version, but because the Senate made changes, the new version needs House approval once again before it can go to the president. The bill includes $1,400 checks for people making up to $75,000 a year. It also includes $300 a week jobless benefits through the summer. The White House says stimulus checks could go out by the end of the month once the bill is signed and passed. Coming up at 5 o'clock, how San Diego Mayor Todd Gloria says the $300 million that we're expected to get will be spent.
A breakthrough is usually associated with something positive, but with COVID, the CDC and vaccine makers are tracking breakthrough cases. That's when someone who's fully vaccinated still gets the virus. Some states like South Carolina have already reported dozens of suspected breakthrough cases. There are several scenarios where this can happen.
There's about a 5% or less chance that you actually don't respond to the vaccine and don't create antibodies, don't create immunity.
Infectious disease doctors say the vaccines aren't 100% effective. People with compromised immune systems or older people may not create immunity. Another scenario is more about timing. The person can become infected just before they got a vaccine, in between doses, or before they develop full immunity, which is about 2 weeks after a second dose. In that case, depending on if a person needs treatment, they may have to wait a few weeks up to 90 days to get that second dose. Third scenario really is the most concerning. A vaccinated person may be infected by a COVID variant. The good news is so far, breakthrough cases are rare and symptoms are far less severe, if any.
The data from Israel is perhaps the most telling, where they've vaccinated a large amount of the population already, and they're seeing performance that looks pretty much like they did in the clinical trials. So very encouraging.
The quarantine recommendations stand for breakthrough COVID cases. Should someone need treatment after vaccination, they can still get antibodies through plasma. Ironically, vaccinated people may not be able to donate plasma specifically for COVID treatments because they don't know yet if it's as effective as plasma for someone who actually got infected. General plasma donations are okay and still in high demand.
The former La Mesa police officer at the center of a controversial arrest pleaded not guilty today. Matt Dages' attorney entered the plea this morning. Dages is accused of filing a false police report about the arrest of Amari Johnson last May. Video of the interaction showed Dages shoving Johnson onto a bench and handcuffing him at the Grossmont trolley station. Johnson was told he was accused of assaulting an officer, but the charge was later dropped and Dages was fired. Johnson's lawyer is upset that Dages isn't facing more serious charges.
He still feels like Officer Dages is being charged with the cover-up, but is not being charged with the underlying crimes that he committed. The battery charges, the kidnapping, the color of authority.
If convicted, Dages faces up to 3 years in prison. And jury selection is underway in the trial of the Minneapolis police officer charged in George Floyd's death. As Court TV's Julia Janae reports, there are already accusations of race being used to disqualify potential jurors.
Jury selection here in downtown Minneapolis is fully underway on day 2 of the case of State versus Derek Chauvin. One by one today, potential jurors took to the witness box to field those questions from both sides, talking about their background and whether or not they have watched the video of George Floyd's death. Most of the jurors today saying that they have watched that video, some telling these parties that they can put that aside and focus on the evidence. One man told the attorneys that he has not watched that video yet, and he was selected to go on to potentially be on this jury. Earlier today, state prosecutors accused Derek Chauvin's attorney of racially motivated strikes. This after the defense dismissed 2 Hispanic jurors, but the judge concluded that the reasoning for those strikes was not racially motivated, and there were other race-neutral reasons why they didn't want those 2 jurors to sit on the jury panel. Now, tomorrow, that jury selection continues with more jurors coming in before these parties, and the ones who are selected being told to return on March 29th. Reporting in Minneapolis, Julia Janae for Court TV.
Turning now to our weather and a live look outside. It is the calm before the storm. Meteorologist Angelica Campos is joining us now with a look at the rain and the cold on the way. Angelica?
Hi, Kim. Yes, today is the day to get ready because this system is going to bring heavy rain, snow, possible thunderstorms, and flash flooding not out of the question. As we look now at the current conditions in satellite and radar, you can see clouds well to the north, but this is going to be moving into the area late tonight into tomorrow morning. Ahead of the main cold front, we're going to see a few showers developing late tonight. We did have a few areas with some drops of rain early this morning, but it wasn't much. Our winter storm warning will go into effect at 10 p.m. As that rain moves in, we'll be changing over to snow. And the winds are strong with the wind advisory in effect until 10 p.m., expecting those winds to potentially gust between 50 to 60 miles per hour. The winds will pick back up tomorrow and into early Thursday. Right now, you see those winds gusting close to 40 miles per hour, 21 miles per hour in this count. So we'll continue monitoring the conditions and timing the rain as it arrives tonight.
One of the things that makes face masks annoying may actually make them more effective. Researchers found the humidity that is created by our breath can slow the spread of COVID-19, but only with certain materials. Now, you're taking a look at this video here. This is from the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and it shows what we're talking about. Filtration improved by 33% with cotton masks. Face masks made with synthetic fabrics were not as effective as cotton and did not improve with humidity. Medical procedure masks also did not improve with humidity. All right, the news feed starts with the airline industry. Now, pushing back a bit against the CDC when it comes to vaccinated people flying. The CDC says people who are fully vaccinated should still avoid travel. The airline industry has responded saying the chances of getting COVID on board a plane is low because of how the air is filtered and how people are wearing masks. A California school is trying to keep students from going on spring break, so they're paying them. How about that? UC Davis is offering students $75. First 500 students who say they won't travel for spring break can get that money. China is launching a program letting its citizens travel to other countries if they have received the vaccine. The program gives people a certificate proving they've received the vaccine. The European Union is also looking to launch a program that uses a certificate to prove that people have been vaccinated when they travel.